Denisha. A super chat right out of the gate. We're coming in hot. Thanks to Denisha Lane, the lovely Denisha Lane. Folks, my name is Johnny Bottles, and I've been asleep since 8 p.m. last night when I turned on TBS. I like to think I was asleep, Don. Anyway, folks, with the Square Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast, the fastest moving hour and a half in the IWC and on the YouTube internet universe. We've got Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist, right next to me, sitting over to the left side of your screen. Don, we've got a lot to unpack today, and the biggest thing would be what? AEW Dynamite.
Well, we're going to get there, but thank you first, Denisha Lane, very much for the super chat.
Let's read
agree
it.
with you. Yeah.
Hey, Donna Bottles, your favorite girls here. AEW sucked yesterday. Mercedes, I'm so disappointed. She has done nothing for women's divisions and ratings. It shows TK is not a leader. AEW show is just bad. Man, you took the words right out of our mouths.
Well, I mean, we might as well jump into it. We'll talk about it real quick overview. The ratings we're going to talk about a couple times. 604,000. That was the number. Mm-hmm. That's what they averaged. Mm-hmm. Here's the other part of that.
What's that?
What did NXT do?
NXT did, I believe, 812,000.
It was over 800 again. That's all I wanted to hear. It's over 800,000 again. The same show that was getting on average around 500,000 or 600,000 for years on USA Network, has moved to a lesser known network. I don't care that it's broadcast TV. It's a lesser known channel. Let's just be serious about that for a minute. I don't even watch the CW unless NXT is on it. Otherwise, I couldn't tell you shit on that channel.
Yes.
They are killing everything on that channel right now. They couldn't be happier. And by the way, I know people are like, oh, SmackDown didn't have a very high rating. It's killing what Fox has on right now.
Right.
By the way, I just want you to know that. Like, they're killing what Fox has.
Absolutely.
So while Fox went out cheap, it's not paying off.
And Monday Night Raw on Netflix lost half of its first episode audience. They lost half. Well, that was the thing that people tried it out. People who haven't seen wrestling in years saw it on Netflix and clicked on it, and they liked what they saw. And not everyone's going to like professional wrestling. They liked what they saw. Half of them did, and they stayed with it. The other half moved on to other things to watch on Netflix. So it is what it is. It's still a higher number than what they were doing on the USA Network.
It's over double what they were doing on the USA
Over
Network.
double than what they were doing on USA Network.
And I want to talk about, let's talk about SmackDown. I mean, Saturday night's main event real quick, and then we'll get to Raw.
Yes, let's do Saturday night's main event.
Let's do let's get this in some sort of an order, man. Shall we?
Do it chronologically then.
Saturday night's main event was entertaining. I liked everything about it.
Like it.
Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens facing off. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
Rhea Ripley retaining. You knew that was going to be a quick one blow off. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an entertaining show overall. I don't want to dwell on it too much because it was almost a week ago, but it did everything it was supposed to do. And they had around 1.5 million people watching it on NBC. But here's my thing.
What's that?
I had to get off of NBC because I was getting the Spanish bleed through at the beginning of the Saturday night's main event.
Yes.
And I asked you this earlier, and this is sort of call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. Is there any chance NBC had Spanish bleeding through the English broadcast to make fans move to the Peacock to push that streaming number over higher than it has been before? Because they still have not said what the Peacock numbers were. But I can tell you one thing. I was watching it, and last time they did the Peacock number, it was around 700,000. So even if you say 200,000 fewer tuned in, it's still 2 million people, I'm guessing, at a minimum. But I went to Peacock because I said, I'm not doing this Spanish shit anymore. I want to hear the show. So do you think that there's a conspiracy to push people away from the NBC network?
No, there's not a conspiracy to push people away from NBC. No, sometimes they have problems with that. They're, UFC broadcasts have had problems like that in the past with the Spanish feed coming through. It's happened to Raw years and years and years ago. A satellite mix-up, audio feed, that somebody hits the wrong button or whatever, wires gets crossed when they hooked it up, before the show starts. It's just a production problem. That's all, and they fixed it after, 20 minutes, 15 minutes?
I don't know because I never went back.
I think they fixed it like 15, 20 minutes into it, and it's corrected after that. I saw on Twitter it was corrected. I immediately started the show in Peacock. I did not watch it on because I started it late, and you tipped me off to the the Spanish
I
language soundtrack.
I said, you're getting it in dual languages, pal. You're hearing everything they're saying, and then something else is coming through. I don't know what the hell that was.
Don was on the hotline to ICE. He was getting ready to call Tom Homan to come out and investigate.
Oh, stop. Calm that down. Let's not go there today, shall we? I thought the show was good. It's a high quality. They're knocking it out of the park. I just want to cover that real quick. And then we have Raw. Now, we have both chastised Raw for good reason for being just a bland show. It's looked amazing the last couple of weeks, but it's not been doing much for me personally. It just hasn't really moved my needle. I haven't really cared about it. Nothing about it has really gotten my attention. This week was an entertaining show. And by the way, I want to cover this real quick and get your thoughts on it. Going to 2.5 hours is the best thing they could have done.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like they're trying to force another 30 minutes of nonsense down our throat.
Well, I watched Raw delayed on Netflix with the commercials taken out, and the Netflix scroll bar said it was a 2 hour and 36-minute program. So I would figure with commercials, it was 3 hours long, close to 3 hours on Netflix with the commercials added in. You think that's about right?
I don't know. I watched it live, and it was over with at like 10:35 or something, dude. It was gone. It didn't last till 11 o'clock.
When I watched it, and I even went back today to watch the JD McDonagh debacle, and I saw it was 2 hours and 36 minutes at the end of the scroll bar for a total time, and that's without the commercials, of course. So, no, we're just don't want to be picky or anything. It is a sweet spot. 2.5 hours is a sweet spot because I enjoyed the show, watching it, scrolling through a lot of the recaps, some of the promo pieces I've scrolled through, and it was very, very pleasant to watch it that way.
I do want to talk about a couple things from the show. You mentioned JD. We'll get to that in a minute. Seth Rollins kicking it off. My wife, for whatever fan, is a big Seth Rollins fan. I don't get it. She loves his goofy ass, whatever. But the part that got me was Gunther coming out and telling him, "You don't want to face me. I'll kick your ass. I will kick the shit out of you."
Right.
And then Logan Paul comes out and was getting Dominic Mysterio heat. They booed him booed him into the dirt, man. Booed him into the dirt.
Can't wait to see that match. Can't wait to see that match. Impressive.
And by the way, we should have mentioned this. Thank you, Denise, for bringing this up. Yeah, the Braun Strowman, Fatu. I mean, that dude, how good was that?
That guy was just too much. But the problem with that is he's now a tweener.
But here's the thing: he's not a tweener. He's still a heel. But you want to watch the guy. Like he's like
they were cheering him one more time. They were chanting.
But because he's a badass, he is a bad mofo. He looks the part, he talks the part, he acts the part. He's what Moxley's trying to be. But Moxley literally cannot be this guy. But
you mean John Moxley?
You remind us on this.
John Moxley, plumber extraordinaire.
That's the guy. But thank you for covering that. Back to the Raw though. The Logan Paul, I don't know where this is going, but I'm entertained. I thought this was a great segment.
It's either going to go to a three-way between the three guys for the belt, or it's going to be Logan Paul versus Gunther, which is a fresh matchup. Something different, for God's sakes. How many times can you see Sami Zayn and McIntyre get trotted out, facing each other again, or Rollins versus McIntyre? How many times can you see that? Come on now. I can't wait till Saturday because it's going to set the stage. It's going to set the stage for WrestleMania season, like you always say.
Yes.
And they don't call people up from NXT to be on the main roster after this Royal Rumble. Then they're doing the main roster a disservice because they need to add some spice.
I don't think you're going to see it at WrestleMania. I think you'll see it after WrestleMania. The stars they've got made right now, they're going to be the guys and gals that they push. And then after WrestleMania, you'll see some releases and you'll see some call-ups. That's how I think it's going to work out.
Who interests you right now in the WWE? Who for Thon Wayne? Who is, I got to see this. I got to see this segment. Who is it?
Dude,
Punk?
Punk's number one.
Sure.
Cody Rhodes is there. Anything that Braun Breaker does, Seth Rollins does interest me because he's a weirdo. Right now, Sami Zayn, I want to talk about this real quick. Sami Zayn and the interactions he's having here lately, he's getting a little PO'd, I think, getting a little pissed off. He's tired of getting walked on. He's tired of the losing streaks. I'm digging this Sami Zayn again. He's rekindling my interest. I don't know if he is for you or not, but he's got my interest right now. That segment he had with CM Punk, come on, you gonna tell me that wasn't entertaining?
The thing with Sami Zayn is if he'd be more interesting to me if he was gone for like a month or two. Take some time off, take a long vacation, and then come back, maybe with a haircut, different look, trim the beard up a little bit.
He's got my attention. But yeah, that's just to start. Everything Drew McIntyre does, I'm all in on. Like Roman Reigns, I mean, where do you want me to end here? Rhea Ripley, I'm curious about where Charlotte's going to be when she comes back, how they're going to pose her up there, because the rumor has it, Charlotte Flair is going to get gold real quick when she comes back.
Well, I don't know about that. They'll have a feud with Tiffany Stratton. That's a WrestleMania match right there, pal. Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. So I think they'll wait till WrestleMania to put the belt on Charlotte. That's what I think.
Well,
unless she's going to go to SmackDown because that's where her husband is. But will she go to Raw to challenge Rhea Ripley? Now that's something I'd like to see that. Something
this
fresh.
Would be their third match in their blow-off, though. You know what I mean? This would be their blow-off match.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you name like 10 people, have a roster of 80?
I haven't finished, Bottles. I mean, you're so eager to just call up NXT guys. They're not always ready. Look at Carmelo Hayes. They wanted to rush him up there. He wasn't ready then. He's not ready now. He's not getting over. His counterpart is ready.
His counterpart's ready. I don't
Rick
know why.
Williams is ready.
Don't know why they're holding him back. Obafemi, he's ready. Bring that big boy up.
I don't think he's ready yet.
I don't know. I like what I see when a guy's in the ring. He's a big bruiser.
He's a big monster. I agree. Like you said, he's a big monster. But I'm not bringing him in that fast, pal. I'm just not.
Are we doing an internet?
You're
general
always
manager?
You're always wanting to call these guys up so fast. I don't know why.
I get bored with the same old status quo, Don. It's the same old stuff, the same old crap. When I turn on Raw, when I turn on SmackDown lately, it's the same thing. When Roman Reigns and the Bloodline are on, then it's got my interest because Heyman's there, and you know it's going to be a well-scripted 15-minute segment, and it's going to get people talking. It's going to be something different. They don't have that right now. They don't have that right now.
I'm sorry.
Is Reigns supposedly coming back on Friday?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
He said there was a day where he's coming back.
I thought he said the 27th last time, and I thought that was this Monday.
Right.
I thought that's when he was coming back. He didn't make his debut. What they did is they did the game thing. So maybe that's what he meant. I don't know. Look, you're not interested. I'm very intrigued. The Royal Rumble, by the way, we can go ahead and talk about a little bit about that. I have no idea who's going to win the Royal Rumble, Bottles. I don't have a clue. I don't have clue one. I couldn't begin to guess. My best guess in all of this is it's going to be CM Punk. That's my best guess. But it could go any 1,000 different ways. It really could.
It could go to Eugene or Tatanka coming back, or
will you stop?
Some crappy star from yesteryear with a bad gimmick. I hope I don't see any of those guys in this Royal Rumble. I know Santino Marella, none of that crap.
Well, there's rumors on who's there. They're saying that Omos is in town.
Omos
Becky Lynch is in town.
Becky Lynch is supposedly coming back for the Royal Rumble. Omos is coming.
That's going to blow the roof. That's going to blow the roof off, Bob.
Omos is coming back for the big monster spot in the Royal Rumble. He gave up his what was it, All Japan, his All Japan Tag Team title belt. He gave that up. He gave up to Tessa Blanchard's ex-husband, who's wrestling over at All Japan right now. Daga. I'm
going to need you to pick up the enthusiasm just a little bit.
It's the same old crap. Whenever I watch these shows now, it's the same old garbage. I get tired of it.
You ever think maybe you're watching too much? You ever think that?
Do you think?
That's why I told you, watch the Netflix, hit the fast forward, catch Friday Night SmackDown every 3 weeks when it's actually good. SmackDown is just a filler show for me now. I don't go into it every week expecting something new.
Right.
I'll catch the highlights if it's good. Other than that, I want to get back to Raw. I'm gonna get Debbie Downer to pick up here a little bit. Come on, Debbie Downer. I need you to pick up your enthusiasm here. Need you to be happy. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Help Bottles have a good evening because he's struggling right now.
Well, what they did with Raw, the best thing I can say about Raw is they moved Liv Morgan and her cohort over to the what'd you call her? What's her nickname? Raquel Rodriguez. What's her? Huh? Gonzo Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are now moved to the women's tag division where they should be. And they're probably going to be feuding with Belair and Naomi for the belts. They'll probably get a title shot at WrestleMania. I'm not at WrestleMania, at Royal Rumble.
And I hope they get.
Yes.
I hope they get them.
Yes. And the fact that Logan Paul's back, that's something fresh. That's something new. I'd love to see Logan Paul versus Gunther. I'd love to see that. That'd be a fresh matchup.
It would be. It would be two different dynamics because Logan Paul's a flyer and Gunther is a ground and pound. Be a totally different dynamic.
See, you got to understand where I'm coming from, Don. Back in the old days of WCW, even the NWA, the Crockett NWA and the WWF, when guys would leave different companies, you never knew who was coming in for a special occasion.
I know.
For a pay-per-view. Like when Luger was at the Mall of America.
Yes.
God damn, that's Alexis here. What the
I
hell's
get
going
what
on?
you're saying.
Look, that's who is that? Oh my God, it's Dr. Death Steve Williams. He's in the WWF now.
But these guys signed 5-year contracts and a little bit longer. And they're not. Look, where are they going to go, Bottles? Let's just have that conversation now. Are you going to go to AEW and soil yourself and that dirty laundry and then hope WWE brings you back in 3 years? No, man, that's your last stop. That's either your last stop or that was your way into the business. That's what it is.
Right, right.
I agree with you. You can write them off TV for 6 or 8 months. Mm-hmm. Go home, collect a paycheck. Maybe you don't make as much, but you still make a good living. And then we bring you back and pay you full time. But that's just me. Let's get back to Raw. Let's pick this up because there's something we both saw that was shocking. JD McDonagh took a hell of a fall in this match. He took a hell of a beating. He cracked his ribs, smashed his back, smashed his neck on the damn outside commentary table. And when it happened live, I said, oh, shit, that's terrible. And then it was worse. You found out he had a damn
3 broken ribs.
Lung. Yeah, the
punctured
lung.
lung. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my God, man.
And Michael Cole went off right away. So we got to get somebody out here to check on this guy.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to check on this guy. Because
he knew he was screwed up.
They thought he broke his neck.
I thought he broke his neck, too. It scared the shit out
the way
of me,
he hit, man. Good Lord. Horrible.
And then, well, here's the other part I want to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell if a guy has a punctured lung from that spot. You don't know that he's seriously injured.
No.
The ref went out and said, are you okay? He said, I can continue. They continue. People screaming about the safety of the wrestlers. This guy didn't know how bad he was hurt. He just knew he didn't have a concussion at the time. I can keep going. My ribs are a little sore, but I can keep going through this match. As soon as he got backstage, he fell down. They checked him out, took him to a hospital, said, okay, you're off TV for a while, pal. Thanks for showing up.
Yes. Yes. And the stalwarts at the Wrestling Observer newsletter and Figure 4 Radio said, if a man's hurt, take him out of the match. You got to take him out of the match. I can't believe it. They're bitching about JD McDonagh continuing in this match. However, on AEW in the last 5 years, how many people did we see get concussions? And guys do 15 minutes of finishing moves with Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order.
When he was
that 8-man match. Remember, he's laying there unconscious, and they're doing finishing moves and moonsaults on him, 450 splashes, figure 4 leg locks, and the guy's out cold from a concussion. Out cold. Fuego del Sol, a little skinny masked luchador, got a concussion in the ring. They're suplexing him, throwing him all around the ring, his opponent was, and he's concussed. How many? Look at Darby Allin. How many times he's gotten hurt in the ring? And they should have stopped the match. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. When
took a dive off a forklift.
Yeah. Unbelievable stupidity.
Yes. And they let that slide, but because of JD McDonagh. Oh, this is an outrage. Come on, man. Go ahead, Don. I'm sorry. I had to go say something about that. I saw that clip.
The CM Punk Cody Rhodes segment I thought was awesome in the show.
Very good.
Cody Rhodes is getting a little bit of vicious in him, and I like this side of Cody Rhodes. This is what I mean. You don't have to just change completely. Just add a new dimension to your character. So I'm liking where this is going. I've enjoyed this.
I'm wearing a black vest, drinking beer.
Yeah.
They'll be doing that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Cody 316 says, Go ahead.
I can't with you today. Are you going to be okay, Bottles? I mean, do you need a hug, buddy? Do you need a hug?
No, I'm fine, pal. I'm okay, pal. I'm just bored with all this stuff. When I see something different like Logan Paul pop in, that got my attention. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, that got my attention because Cody Rhodes he's starting to get a little salty because his back's against the wall. Everybody wants that belt. Everybody wants it. And he's going into a ladder match with a man who's a maniac right now, Kevin Owens.
Which I like this. Well, he did get super kicked. He got his face super kicked off by Shawn Michaels Saturday.
Yes,
so that was
did.
pretty cool.
Great spot.
This match surprised me. I'm just going to talk about this real quick. Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre, I didn't think I'd enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who was going to win because they've been screwing over Drew so much lately. When he got the 3 count and Sami Zayn was mad as shit, dude, again, just change your character up a little bit. It ain't got to be a whole lot. That got my attention. I thought it was a cool moment.
Could Cody and Kevin's match be interfered upon by Sami Zayn?
I don't know. I don't see Sami Zayn. I think this is going to come to the end at Royal Rumble.
I hope so.
think that's what you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of see it that way. That's just me personally. I think you're going to see it come to an end. So that was Raw. I just want to talk about that real quick because there's some other news I want to talk about real quick where people gnashing their teeth online, living in their mother's basement with the tarp on the floor and the Jergens next to them. These are the people that are upset about this shit. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. The super chat's open. If you got something to say, you want to comment, we're going to get to the AEW coverage real quick. I just want to cover some news. Triple H is going into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes. And
I have no idea. I have no idea why so many people have an issue with this guy going into the Hall of Fame. He has had a Hall of Fame career in any company.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 14-time world heavyweight champion. What's everybody's issue with this guy other than he's outperforming and outbooking your favorite AEW neckbeard show? Mm-hmm. The guy has more than earned it. And this is the other part that got me. People screaming online, he voted himself in. He's not even the guy that made the decision. It was Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, and Stephanie that voted him in. That's how this went. So what the hell is everybody's problem with this guy, man?
They're salty because the Snowman in Jacksonville is a worse booker of their favorite program than Triple H is of all the shows in WWE. They were so salty about that it got gooder and bestest when Vince left and Triple H came in. He ruined everything for everybody. Tony's struggling right now. Tony's struggling. Come on, man. So tired of Tony Khan.
It's fake heat is what it is. They're just anything to get a click. Anything
to bitch about.
It's the same people that say, why does Rhea Ripley get treated like Hulk Hogan? Because she's the biggest female star on the planet in wrestling. That's why. Her numbers show it. Her sales show it. The demo shows it. She draws the eyes and the fans and the dollars. Get over yourself. Liv Morgan had a hell of a run. She has really done well for herself. Yes. She did more than I ever thought she could with that run. Now it's time to move on to something else. It was a nice 8-month run. Now it's WrestleMania season. Do you really want to see Liv Morgan wrestle at a main event at WrestleMania? Because I don't.
Not at all. Not at all. She's good for the tag team division, Don. She's perfect for the tag team division.
She's great. Brother Fluff is in the house.
Just showing some love to the channel. Y'all keep me entertained. Well, that's what we're here for, Fluff. We're here to serve. Keep everybody entertained.
I'm going to serve you up. You keep it up.
Moving right along.
Well, I've got better news.
What's that?
Stephanie McMahon is all over the place again. She's going to have her own show on ESPN Plus. It's amazing. I can't wait to watch. Said no one.
You know what? It could be fascinating, though, depending upon how they do it. It's going to be a TV show where they're going to do a deep dive into the family history and private lives of WWE superstars. And I believe, I might be mistaken, I believe the first episode will be Roman Reigns of the Bloodline.
Is it? I thought it was Stone Cold, but it might be.
I just saw a picture where she's like on a boat with all the Bloodline members. And they all have drinks in her hand or something like that.
Okay. Well, she might have. I mean, I just
don't
look.
know.
Here's the thing. To me, this sounds like what they've been doing on A&E with the biographies the last several years. It sort of feels like they're just trading places and going to somebody else. And hey, look, we might have a new audience. They don't know who Stone Cold was. They don't know who Big John Studd was.
Right.
Let's leave Hulk Hogan out of this because they did bring up Hulk Hogan. And Stephanie McMahon said, Hulk Hogan could never wrestle. I never liked the way he wrestled. You sure as hell loved how much money he made your father, though. So shut your ass up. This chick sometimes, dude, gets on my last nerve. Between saying Andre the Giant was her babysitter or her best friend or some bullshit, she's as bad as any other circus act. Just nonsense falls out of her lips, and you're supposed to just believe everything she says. She is the daughter of the world's biggest carny. She is of the same ilk. Shut up. Just say you're not doing it. You're moving on to something else. My God.
I heard she used to play Jim Rummy in the back with Randy Macho Man Savage. Is that true?
I heard they played Hide the Weasel.
Hide the Weasel?
That's what
Bobby
I heard.
Heenan?
Poke the salami.
Put Heenan in the closet. Hide that weasel.
There's also all kinds of news over who's going to be in the Royal Rumble. So let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about the Rumble real quick.
And I got a few names here that are top secret.
Okay.
That have been seen in Indianapolis.
Go ahead.
They are all NXT performers. Lash Legend, of course. Jada Parker. Roxanne Perez, who's feuding with Bayley, actually. And Stephanie Vacker. The Mexican
also,
star.
Joe Hendry has apparently been seen.
I believe
he's been seen.
I believe in Joe Hendry being seen.
Cody Rhodes wins, right? He's going to beat Kevin Owens. We both agree on that, I believe. Who do you think wins the Women's Royal Rumble? Who do you think wins?
Charlotte Flair.
I think Bianca Belair does.
I think it's going to be Charlotte Flair, and because of she's making a return, a big return. I think it's going to be Charlotte Flair, and in a women's elimination chamber match, it will be Bianca Belair winning that match.
See, I think that's when Charlotte wins.
Then again, Jade Cargill's got to return sometime soon.
I don't know. She's supposed to be done with her movie, but I don't know that she's coming right back into it. You know what I mean?
She's been working out at the Performance Center, getting the ring rust off.
So the other part about this Royal Rumble that's really important to listen here, listen to me. It starts at 6:00 Eastern time. And we talked about this. And if we are both in the right state of mind, we're going to do a show directly after the Royal Rumble. We're going to try to have a show. Yeah, if we're not both inebriated out of our minds from watching this. Because if it's a good show, Tuesday. I hear you. So we might do a show Saturday after the Rumble. Stay tuned. We might do it Sunday. Not sure yet. We're working on that. We'll let you know as soon as we can.
Well, my son is a big UFC aficionado, and he said that, man, you got the Royal Rumble one Saturday, and then right after that, you got UFC. So there's a UFC show.
That's why they're putting it on at 6.
10 o'clock, yes. So it's like
that's
TKO
why they're putting it on at 6.
all night long. TKO.
Yeah. Making money hand over fist. And by the way, there's over 60,000 people coming to this show now.
It's phenomenal.
It's insane. You've got 60,000 people at the Royal Rumble. They're crawling over each other getting the damn stadium. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button, the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling.
The bing bong on the ding dong?
Something like that.
Have you, can you only imagine what the ticket prices are for the Royal Rumble?
Oh, God, I can't imagine.
Oh, my God in heaven. Probably $800.
Thousands.
Yes. Have you seen Dark Side of the Ring Season 6 is coming?
March what? 25th, I think it debuts.
March
sometime
25th.
In there.
Have you seen the topics of every episode?
I have not. That I haven't.
I've got the
seen
list.
Yet.
If you like this, you'd like me to recite this list.
I can tell you one thing for sure. I know one guy that's actually going to be talking on the shows, and we interviewed him.
Crowbar.
Crowbar is in the show, yes.
Very good. Because he's going to be talking about Daphne. She's the subject of one of the shows.
Is she really? He's going to have a huge part to say in that because they were together for years.
Yes, it's Daphne is what they're doing. If this is any kind of order, okay, this first episode will be Hell in the Cell. And it's got to be the Hell in the Cell, the Mankind Undertaker thing.
It's got to be,
the story
right?
of that. It's got to be. The second episode will be Big Van Vader. I guess his life, his wild life, get potatoed and potatoing people and the eyeball popping
His
out.
eye coming out, yeah.
Yes.
Him having to go to UNC, the fat camp, and not being able to drop weight and keep it off. And then he got told, he was told that he had like 8 months to live with his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got to 8 months. They were like, well, you seem to be going. I mean, keep riding out. And then he died like 3 months later. Something tragic like that.
When he got that diagnosis, he was wrestling Will Ospreay. They had a feud on Twitter, and then they actually had a match. My hand to God, he wrestled Will Ospreay.
I had no idea. I thought you were fucking with me.
No, Will Ospreay and Ricochet had that match, and he said that's not professional wrestling, that's gymnastics, a bunch of acrobat ballet dancers, and they got into a war of words on Twitter, and New Japan put the match together, and he wrestled Ospreay. Of course, he didn't do the job, but he wrestled Ospreay. This guy's a stockholder in Foot Locker stores, Tony Atlas.
I do. Yes. I can't wait to watch him get stepped on by women. By the way, Warrior JWR, how about Tony Clown banning talent from WrestleMania week?
Yes.
I had not heard that. That's news to me.
When they do indie shows, all these indie promotions will do shows in whatever town WrestleMania is in. And he told them, all his talent, do not sign any deals with any of these indie shows. You're not going to perform there.
That's crazy to me because that is a big damn deal, and a lot of guys make a lot of money that week. Thank you, Warrior JWR, for that, man. You just dropped some knowledge on me, buddy. I appreciate the super chat.
Tony Halme. You know who Tony Halme is?
Not a clue.
He was Ludwig Borga in WWE. He was in for a cup of coffee. Ludwig Borga. Anyway, moving right along, the great Billy Jack Haynes.
Oh, shit.
That could be a 3-hour episode with all that craziness.
Oh, my God.
And they're going to cover the fact that he shot his wife.
Put
her out of her misery.
The chat has corrected us. The actual UFC show starts at 9. Main event goes on at midnight.
Well, that means right then and there that the pre-show for Royal Rumble will be 5. And then the main show will be 6. And I guarantee you.
It'll be over with by 9.
9 o'clock, 8:59, 59. That's going to be off. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Thanks, Russ.
The life of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert will be covered.
Was he really that dark, though?
Big time pill problem, dude. Coke, pills.
Yeah, but that's not dark. They all did that shit. Dude, Billy Jack Haynes shot his wife like a year ago. That's crazy shit.
Supposedly he killed somebody for Bill Clinton. That's another one of his great stories.
Oh my God.
And then he was a young boy with a couple of his friends. He got picked up by a hitchhiker. Not by a hitchhiker. They were hitchhiking. They got picked up by a guy. And the guy in the car was a pedophile, and he killed him.
Russ is saying UFC fight tomorrow is at 9 a.m. And the main card is at noon. Yeah. It's one of those overseas fights. Yeah.
Huh. I guess my son is wrong. Maybe they got a replay.
Maybe.
Saturday night. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
Back to the crazy shit they're going to show on it. By the way, if you haven't watched Dark Side of the Ring, give it a shot. It's a hell of a show.
Yes.
A lot of people get upset about some of the things they say because they idolize these wrestlers for so long. And then when they find out that these people were horrific human beings behind the stage, they can't handle it. Like they completely come unglued. Like, that never happened. That's bullshit. Yeah, Jimmy Snuka really killed his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. Like, these people aren't great people sometimes.
Back in the day, they got away with. I almost said they got away with murder. Well, some of them literally did get away with murder because there were no cell phones, there was no internet, no way to record it. If you were going to film somebody doing something heinous, it would be a huge camera like that you have to carry around with you. This is pre-camcorders. I hope they have a different narrator this year than the trunk of the learning tree. Chris Jericho has been the narrator for all these episodes.
Yeah. Look,
not that he does a bad job, but
it doesn't bother me too much, but I feel like they could do somebody better than that, man.
Someone with a little more gravitas to his voice. Superstar Billy Graham. That could be a great episode right there. With all the health problems and issues that he had.
But he lived a long age.
Yes, but he had the steroids, the health issues. He was bitter. He came back as Karate Billy Graham, trying to make something out of that.
Now that was
very horrible. He couldn't move. That's why.
I'm a Karate Billy Graham, baby. Yeah. Get down with the daddy. I'll karate kick the shit out of you, brother.
Daphne, we mentioned earlier. The original Sheik, Ed Farhat, not the Iron Sheik.
Now that's interesting.
Yes, from Big Time Wrestling from Chicago. Or was it
No,
Detroit? Detroit.
By the way, the book on his life is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it for anybody that has a few hours. The fact that he burned through money like he did is absolutely mind-blowing to me. This guy was a multi-millionaire and pissed it all away. How?
The final
and he
episode.
did it. Hold on. Do you know how he did it? He did it on gambling and hoers.
Hoers. Not whores, but hoers. The final episode will be a guy who came and went so fast. A lot of people have forgotten about this guy. He was an Italian, and they made him play an Iranian.
Oh, shit.
And currently, nowadays, he is a English teacher. A school teacher, yes. Muhammad Hassan.
That should be like a half-hour show. It wasn't that damn fast. I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was
go out
of here.
He really got bullied, and he got put through the ringer, man. He got put through the ringer backstage. Big time.
By the way, there's one other match we got to talk about from the Royal Rumble real quick. The WWE Tag Team Championship, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns. Who you got? It's going to be an entertaining match.
It will be an entertaining match. It'll be a good match. I love Tommaso Ciampa. Whatever he does, he's must see. It's going to be a match. It's going to, for all the AEW neckbeards, don't watch Collision, watch the Royal Rumble. You'll love what you see in that match with the Machine Guns and DIY. It's your type of match.
Who do you think wins?
I would have to say DIY retains.
I think Motor City Machine Guns get it back.
Think so? Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. All right.
You have like a list of matches there?
Yeah, we already went through them all. There's only 4 so far announced.
That's it?
Huh. I got to believe there's something else coming down the pike on SmackDown Friday. Got to believe. I do want to talk about one other piece of news, though, before we get into the AEW shit show.
Sure.
Asuka has been making the waves this week, pal.
I saw.
Apparently, she's getting stalked by some sort of a creepo online or something. She put out a couple of tweets about it, and I don't know if it's an angle or not, but after what happened a couple years ago where the guy broke into the girl's house trying to get a hold of her, like, that kind of shit, man. Like, some of you people out there, what is wrong with you, man? Go out, get with the lady of the night, get laid. Just do that.
If you've got problems, if you got girl problems, I feel bad for you, son.
Oh, please.
No, if you got girl problems, just go out and find yourself a whore. How'd you say it? A whore.
Go get a whore.
Go get a whore. It's like mower with a H. Yes. A whore. Go get a whore, son. What's the matter? Get out of your bedroom. Get that tarp off the floor. What are all these empty baby oil bottles and Jergens bottles doing in here? What are all these tissues for? Go out and find yourself a whore. Here's $20.
By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch Lonesome Dove. You'll get it then. She's a whore.
A whore.
So I want to talk about that. If you're that guy and you're watching this show, I want you to know you are a humongous piece of shit. I want you to know that firsthand from me to you.
This is what I saw. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Here's
you
her
think
tweets.
It's work.
Please don't have romantic feelings for
one.
me. It's meaningless, 100% pointless. I absolutely reject any romantic or personal approaches towards me. There's absolutely no possibility for others to interfere in my private life. But the desires directed at me are endless. Do this, do that, get this. What the hell is this? And Nia Jax, Lena Fanini, writes to her, I thought we had something special.
Yeah, that's a joke. She's trying to add levity to it.
I always tell you to keep our special relationship a secret from the public. Don't expose it. And then she came out and said, I love you, Asuka. Take me back, with a happy face.
Again, she's just adding levity to it. I think there's something really going on, and she had to get it off her chest. Warrior JWR, Bottles Don, you have any surprise entrance for the Royal Rumble?
Yes.
I think you're going to see Joe Hendry come down.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to see the guy from NXT come down.
Mm-hmm.
Trick Williams. Trick Williams is going to eliminate
Carmelo
the guy
Hayes.
that I can't stand, Carmelo Hayes. I think
Obafemi is going to be in it. That's the big rumor.
I think Oba's going to be in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the three. I think the women. I think Charlotte is going to be a big surprise. I don't think you're going to see AJ Lee. I do think you're going to see Becky Lynch. I think you're going to see Grace. What's her name? Grace Parker. Grace Steroid. Grace
Jada Parker.
Whatever her name is. Coming from
Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace. Yeah, she signed.
Nick
Khan said they got high hopes for her. I think she signed a 3-year contract, and they got big plans for her.
So I think she'll be a surprise entrant. Those are the ones I'm almost positive are going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I don't know that you're going to see any kind of a legend come down. I can't think of one off the top of my head that has been
I think
rumored.
we'll just have big returns like Charlotte, Becky, and Asuka. I think Asuka is coming back for the Rumble.
I think she is too.
Yes,
So
that's why she's putting these tweets out.
I also want to talk about one other thing. Ricky Starks was in the news this past week a lot.
Yes.
He had a match at an independent show.
Yes. Was it House of Glory?
Fans, it was a glory hole, I think. I have no idea. The crowd was chanting, WWE Raw or something
Raw
like that.
on Netflix. Clap, clap,
yeah,
clap,
Raw
clap,
on Netflix. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So the neckbeards have come unglued about this as well. They're
They were also
so
chanting
angry.
FTK, FTK,
Yes.
FTK. Yes.
So all the neckbeards that had all this love for all these years because Vince McMahon was soiling the business are now getting it thrown back on them. And I don't think they're handling it well at all. They're really not. Like, they're coming unglued at the seams.
Of course.
They can't stand the criticism anymore. I don't look. I'm not a huge Ricky Starks fan. I'm not going to pretend that I love the guy, but I would like to see him perform because I do know he can wrestle. I think he's got a little bit of charisma. I think he needs a lot of work. I think he needs a lot of work.
Sure, but look at Ethan Page. They took that lump of coal, Ethan Page, and put him in NXT, and he came out with a diamond. So we'll see how it goes with Ricky Starks. He's going to go to NXT for a little while. They're going to have to put him down there. And by the way, Ethan Page will be a surprise in the Rumble.
Yes, I believe
I think he's going to be there to stay.
Pablo Salute, what's going on, baby? He says, did you guys see Charlotte's new mask? I did not.
Charlotte has a mask? Are you talking about her face? She's got a little work done, it looks like. She's got those lips plumped up.
Okay. He might be talking about that.
Yeah, she looks like a goldfish I had when I was 9.
She's definitely had some work done while she was gone. I did notice that.
Of course.
She looked a little bit better. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from her. She's got the money. She wants to improve her looks. She's
still got those that female volleyball player's hips where it's just from the rib cage to the pelvis. It's a straight shot, dude.
It ain't pushing out no baby, son.
She doesn't have childbearing hips. Is what
she does not have childbearing.
Yes. She's got a long ass. It's just like starts up top and goes all the way down to the back of her.
Remember in the 80s when that was like popular? The women always had the thongs with the long ass. That was the big thing. Go back and watch, what was the name of the movie with Point Break? Go watch that movie. There's more long asses than that you can shake a stick at.
People who shouldn't be wearing thongs were wearing thongs
just
back then.
Walking around with the long ass going on. Speaking of long ass, there was a long ass AEW show last night, and I think we got to get into it. How's that for a segue? How was that?
I'm auditioning for Totem Pole Nation.
Stop.
Go ahead.
604,000 people tuned into this, and I don't know why you stayed, to be quite frank, because I fast-forwarded to the end of this show because I couldn't take anymore. There was no lead-in. There was no Big Bang Theory, so you're going to get what you get when you don't get a lead-in.
You know what? I went back and watched the beginning of it today just to verify that. You know what I saw for a lead-in from the Big Bang Theory? You know that little title card that they put up?
Yeah.
At the end of the show, you see it for like a split second. That came on the Warner Brothers logo, and right after that, the show started. And it happened in an exact amount of time it took me to describe it, is how it happened. So they had no 5-minute, 2-minute, 3-minute lead-in from the Big Bang Theory.
God bless America. Mike Digital, who makes the music for the show, here you go, Bottles. This one's for you.
They hadn't made videos in months.
Maybe he's tired of paying for the subs. Anyway,
Dearly
we're going to get back to this.
We're gathered here today to more in Totem Pole Nation.
There were 2,400 set up for the show in Huntsville, Alabama, and they distributed 2,134 tickets in a stadium that holds 9,000.
And it was quiet as a morgue.
I thought the crowd sounded good. They had it mic'd up pretty good, I thought. I'm not going to give them any shit for that.
They must have turned those microphones down for the main event. They must have turned them off. They pulled the plug on the microphones.
No. Look, you're talking about one match. I'm talking about the majority of the show. They were leaving on that last match. It was time to go home.
They were out.
Carol, start the car. I'm not watching this, bitch.
I'm going to go get Joey a T-shirt. Start the car.
They went through the table over there. You're not getting them shit.
Have you seen those merch tables for AEW? They are horrendous.
They are.
It's
awful.
like hot pink and gray and black shirts and one white shirt.
You know what it looks like?
What's that?
It looks like shit I would see at my local flea market.
Right.
Just god awful. Anyway,
Horrible.
there was no delay on this thing. They went right into it. We're getting Ospreay and Cage first, and I said, how long before somebody's not selling shit in this match? And right away, I knew what kind of show this was going to be because the commentators were over the top from the word go. Just over the top with everything. They couldn't let it lay there at times. They just had to keep talking and talking over each other. My God.
Do you know why they do that in every single match? It's because they have no packages that they show recapping what happened last week or the week before. So you have some kind of context. You got some kind of perspective. They don't do any of that. They rely on Excalibur to talk a mile a minute and explain everything. What happened the week before. It's ridiculous.
Don Callis comes downstage because it's his guy in the ring with Chicken Hawk, and they're sitting by this thing. I said, this is how we're going to start. Cage catches Ospreay off the ringside barrier, walks around with them. Then it just sort of gets weird. He sort of puts him down, then picks him back up, then gives him a suplex. Now, don't get me wrong. Catching him is impressive. Yeah. Why did he walk the entire length of the damn ring? Just suplex him there, and it's just as impressive. It really is.
He's just trying to call attention to himself, trying to show off. That's all. He almost dropped him.
And I noticed this at the beginning of this match. Did you notice how loose those ropes were last night, or was it just me? They looked incredibly loose.
They were loose. Yeah, it's bad considering you've got a company where guys come off those ropes, the top rope, pretty frequently. Not a good look.
And I didn't notice it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It just seemed like the whole show's just slapped together real fast. They probably put the ring up real quick.
Well, I noticed it when Ospreay did the flip off the ropes. I was like, that shit looks crazy loose. Like he could hurt himself crazy loose.
He could have. Good thing there's steel cables.
The crowd was into this match, I thought. Ospreay and Cage recover from an awkward flip over the belt. Do you remember the awkward flip where he flipped over Ospreay? It was really awkward. They recovered. I was like, that was awkward, but he recovered pretty well. And then he nails a dive over the top rope.
Ospreay actually holds the crowd. He actually gets the crowd involved in his matches. So that's one of the few guys there where you could say he's got their attention.
And this thing again, though, it wasn't bad yet. It wasn't sloppy. They were having a decent match.
Right.
Cage suplexes Ospreay back in the ring from the second rope. I was like, that's impressive. And when they landed, syringes flew out of Cage's ass left and right. I was like, there it is. There it is. He broke like a Lego. Out went the syringes. I said, man, he's going to run out of gas soon. They got to take this home in a minute.
Cut his forehead. The blood hit the ring, ate a hole in the ring, down to the floor below.
And then they went, and I didn't get this, right? They went back and did another middle rope power move. You've already done it once. Why are you doing everything you can in the first match?
They got to get their shit in, Don. That's what they got to do. They got to get their shit in. They just got to do it. Do it. Look great. Come off from top. God, it's the indie mentality, Don. That's the problem.
I'm glad you said that because this is when it broke down. Chicken Hawk gets up on the ring. He's trying to get Ocean Spray's attention.
Chicken Hawk. Let's see.
Anyway, he's trying to get his attention.
Lance Archer. I just checked the
the
crib notes. Lance Archer.
Lance Archer, Chicken Hawk gets up there.
I gotta have a thesaurus for your reviews of this. Ping Pong, Chicken Hawk, Deadeye, Google Eye, Gonzo. Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
I know what I know. When he gets up on there, he tries to get Ospreay, and in comes Cage in a horrifically sloppy spot where he hits Chicken Hawk, knocks him out. Chicken Hawk causes him to lose the match, essentially. It's just the ending of this thing, it's as sloppy and as bad as I sound, because it's hard to describe how bad this was. This is what I wrote down. Chicken Hawk knocks Ocean Sprays. Oh, that was what it was. The foot spot is what started it, if you remember. Ospreay tries to put his foot on the ropes, and Chicken Hawk throws it off the ropes. And the ref looks up like, I saw something. What was that? It was just dumb. It made no sense. This started this whole sequence of bad shit. Everything went south immediately when they did this shit.
And then it snowballed slowly over the next 2 hours.
Well, look, I'm just saying. The ref literally went, "What did you do over there? I saw something." Why was he not thrown out from ringside? He just stood there going, "What did you do? Did you do something? I think you did something."
It's
this
garbage,
was horrible.
It's garbage.
Then it really gets worse. It gets so much worse. Ospreay wins.
Mm-hmm.
They start jumping him. They being the Chicken Hawk and Cage start jumping him.
The Don Callis family.
Yes. Out comes Kenny Omega to save his new best friend. Chicken Hawk stands there while Cage bends over and lets him hit him with the damn steel chair. What up? Chicken Hawk or the other guy? Doesn't matter. The other guy just stands there watching, doing nothing. He literally watches his friend get his ass kicked. Does nothing.
So Chicken Hawk hit Omega with the chair. I'm trying to remember how this went down.
No, it was Cage. Yes. Kenny hits Chicken Hawk and Cage just watches. Like, oh, shit, what can I do? You're hitting him.
I'm a big, huge, muscular man. I could stop this very easily.
I'll watch it go down instead. He was literally from here. He was 5 feet away and did nothing. He just stood there and watched.
I've got the G.I. Joe real hair. I could stop this.
Dude, I said, oh,
he looks
my
ridiculous
God, it's getting
with that
worse.
haircut and that thick beard. He looks like, literally, his head looks like a G.I. Joe head from the 1970s with real hair and kung fu grip.
Wait, did you think it was over and it was bad enough? Because it's not.
It just
now
gets
we
worse.
we get Kyle Fletcher and Molly Nose comes running to the ring. And now they're involved. So we got Molly Nose, Chicken Hawk, beating up Ocean Spray along with Cage. And who is the other guy? Kyle Fletcher. They're all in the ring kicking the shit on him.
Yes.
And this goes on. And the beat goes on. And the beat goes on. And they cue the go-to-commercial music. Kids, I'm not making this up. You can't make this up. They cue the go-to-commercial music. And Kenny Omega starts fighting back. And they kill the go-to-commercial music. That's one.
Well, you notice before they started playing the music again, Callis looked at somebody at ringside. He was over in the corner because he was down on one knee. And he looked over at somebody at ringside, and they said something to him. And Callis turned to his guys and said, "Beat him again. Beat him up again." And they did it again. And then they played the music.
Wait, no.
That was it.
And they played it for a third time. And you thought, finally, this is going to end. But no. Kenny's not done yet. He will not die. Kenny Omega will not die. Finger bang gang's coming at you, pal. And we're going to have another comeback. And again, they kicked the shit out of them. And finally.
Finger bang gang.
And
that's
finally,
a new name for Ospreay and Kenny Omega, the Finger Bang Gang.
Again, for the fourth time, the music plays, and they're super serial this time. They finally go to commercial. This ending to this opening match was the drizzling shits from the time he knocked the foot off until they actually ran out of time and said, go to commercial. This whole thing broke down in ways I cannot fathom a professional wrestling show breaking down.
And the reason for that is no one there knows how to format a TV show for broadcast, a wrestling show. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to break it down. There's no time cues. These guys got to get all their shit in, and they're not listening to the referee give them time cues. 2 more minutes, and they stretch it out to 7 or 8. They're not, I guarantee you, they're not listening to the ref. The ref's just throwing his hands up. And Tony Khan's tearing his hair out backstage. And it is what it is. Plus the fact that Powerhouse Hobbs was supposed to have a segment on this show, and they had to cut it out because he's hurt and he can't travel.
Well, that's next. I want to talk about that.
Yes, he's hurt and he can't travel. So they were supposed to have a beat down of Hobbs or some interaction in the ring with Jericho and his boys' learning tree with Hobbs.
Hold on, Models. Hold on.
It never happened.
I don't give a shit what was supposed to happen. You knew that well in advance. You should have prepared for that. You should have had a segment on standby for that. Whatever bullshit you were going to show on Collision that no one's going to watch Saturday, bring that to the forefront. Because here's the thing, and I want to talk about this, because this would have been a perfect time to capitalize what Maria May and Tony Storm did on Saturday in front of 250,000 people that nobody was watching.
Right.
They literally had the best segment that they've had on AEW in months, where Tony Storm revealed she's been acting the whole time. She knows who she is. She's not done with Mariah May, and she's going to kick her ass. There was literally, they did not follow up on this show. They should have had a segment for that on this show, but they're pushing it to a show that no one's watching. Do you think anybody's going to tune in Saturday to watch that shit with the Rumbles on? Not a chance.
No.
You're wasting your time again. It should have been here. Push that forward. Do it now. Instead, we get the cocaine hooker in the background.
It was cocaine hooker. Oh, my God in heaven. Pablo, the real one, with $1.99. Thank you, Pablo. Must be me, but I don't see what they see of Omega Olivier. Well, he's a big name from Japan, and Tony, he's got to love Jones for all that early 2000 New Japan Pro Wrestling, which Kenny Omega was a big star of.
Mid-2000s.
Well, whatever. Anyway, that Tony Storm, Mariah May angle from Collision. Don't get me started on that.
Best thing they've done in months. Best thing they've done in months.
I lost my belt to my protege, so I came back pretending I had amnesia, going with my old rocker chick gimmick so I could get close enough to get a title shot at your title, and so you can beat the hell out of me on live TV and I'll bleed. So I really showed you. You kicked my ass right in front of everybody on live TV.
Look,
where I'm bleeding from the mouth. So I showed you. I really told you something.
I'm not saying it was perfect, but it was the best thing they've done.
Stupid. It was stupid.
It's the best thing they've done, Bottles.
She's that timeless gimmick for her is money, and she could go anywhere using that. She should just stick with that from now on, the timeless gimmick. And that's all she's got going for her right now.
Back to Dynamite.
Swerve
is backstage with Renee Baguette. Nope. In comes Paige out of nowhere. He interrupts and says he's not in there, who then runs into MJF, who then cuts a promo, which was pretty good promo because he ended it with "Ain't I great?" But can I make one observation? Please stop chewing gum, MJF, in your interviews. It looks seventh gradish. It's not a good look. All I could see was that little piece of gum in the corner of his mouth the whole time.
Well, he's either got bad breath or he wants to be a smart ass. He wants to be that little kid in school who's a smart ass chewing gum. That's what he's trying to convey. Either that or he's got halitosis.
Look, if you have halitosis, they actually make a medication for that. You can't just kill that shit with gum. I worked with a guy that had halitosis when I was younger, and that son of a bitch liked to say a lot of H words. Hi, Don. Hey, dude. Easy. Have you seen my car keys?
Nope, I see that Tic Tac jumping out of your mouth. It's abandoning ship.
I will tell you, his name was John. And one day I said, John, please back up off of me with your mouth of fungus because you're killing me. Hey, it's a disease. I said, then see a doctor. See a doctor and have it taken care of. Bloated Greg Allman, a.k.a. Jericho, needs to go.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. I've had enough of Jericho. It's a waste of Big Bill.
Let them catch me, no. Not gonna let them catch the Midnight Rider.
It's a waste of Big Bill.
Speaking of which, Big Bill's in the next thing, and they say Hobbs is hurt. They do the recap. Hobbs wasn't cleared tonight, and I think it's a concussion, Bottles. I think it's a concussion, and there's starting to be an issue with Hobbs, pal. I know we both want him to succeed, but he's hurt a lot, and when I say hurt, he's hurt a lot. Pablo's giving us a few bucks. I want to make sure we put this up there. Hi, Bottles.
Hi, Bottles.
I said, John,
I've got a coat on my tongue. I've got a coat on my tongue, Bottles, and a pair of pants.
You got a tarp on your floor too, weirdo?
I got a tarp on my floor. I used to work with a guy on a bread truck. I trained a guy who had a milky white tongue. It was just bizarre, off-putting when he would talk to me.
I've seen those guys.
He had the hard breath too. But he had a milky white tongue. And they could that, I talked to my wife at the time about that. And she said that, he had a coat on his tongue. I said, is that what you call it? He had a coat, a pair of pants, and a parka on that thing. It was horrible.
I've seen those people.
Yes.
It's usually from a lack of water, almost always.
He had breath like peanut butter fish, if you can visualize that mixture. peanut butter fish.
All right,
go ahead, Don. What's next?
On to the next segment. Claudio versus Jeff Jarrett.
Yes.
Claudio versus Jeff Jarrett. And I said, now everyone from the clan is coming in from the ring.
Of course.
This, again, Jeff Jarrett just looks slow in this match. I know you like him.
It's something different. It's just something different. That's all. That's the only reason why I like him is it's something different.
He's slow as shit, Bottles.
Of course he is. He's a 57-year-old man. Look at Jericho.
I could have timed him on an hourglass as long as it took him to get those figure fours in. I could have timed him on an hourglass. I like the guy, but he doesn't need to be wrestling at his age anymore, man. He just doesn't. He just doesn't, man. And it's not that it was a horrible match. It just looks slow. It looks slow and out of place in today's. And I'm not even saying it's bad as far as WWE standards. It just looks slow by anybody's standards in today's wrestling.
Well, I tell you what was slow. The referee was slow because he had all this business happening in the ring to take out Jeff Jarrett. Superstar Jeff Jarrett, who's... What kind of chance did he have against Claudio Cannoli? What kind of chance did he have?
Well, he was beating him, and then out came the guy from my local car wash, a.k.a. Wheeler Yuta. He comes down, and he throws in a chair.
Then everybody throws in a chair. The whole 9 yards.
And then it comes Moxley, and he hits him with the DDT, and that's how it ends, on his back.
But all this is happening while the referee is over by the ropes with his back to all this, arguing with Wheeler Yuta. Fighting with Wheeler Yuta, arguing with him for what seems to be an eternity. While all this crap is going on to beat down a 57-year-old man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. What would it have hurt for him with shenanigans to beat Claudio Cannoli? Actually get that title match on an episode of Dynamite with Moxley. Maybe that would pop a number. Who knows?
I don't know why they're doing any of this, Bottles. It doesn't make any sense to me. What are we doing with him?
I will tell you why. Because on the other program, John Cena announced he's coming back for a retirement tour. He's going to try to win his last championship in the WWE this year. That's what he's doing. He's coming back. And that looks like that's probably a name you're going to see in the Royal Rumble. John Cena. He's going to be at Elimination Chamber. He already announced for that. He wants to be at WrestleMania. He already announced for that. So he's going to try to do a retirement tour. So Tony Khan looked around and said, who do I have here as a long veteran who could do a retirement gimmick? And Jeff Jarrett probably said, I can do that, boss. No problem.
Tanisha gave us a 10 spot earlier, so here we go. She has a question. What do you think of the Grand Slam hot mess going on right now? She's hearing that people want refunds, and they're not giving back refunds, even though the ticket sales are low. I have not heard good things at all about it. I haven't heard about people getting refunds. What I have heard is it's a shit show. They've had to move it already once, and they might have to move it again. They're not selling tickets.
Nope. They don't know if it's going to be on Max. They don't know if it's going to be broadcast live on Max, tape delay on Saturday in place of Collision, or what? They don't know.
I can tell you who's not going to be watching it. Me. I'm not going to watch it.
No. Come on.
But you brought up something I want to get back to. You know what Jeff Jarrett is not?
He's not John Cena. He's
not
like
a 14, 15-time WWE World Champion. He doesn't have the John Cena strut, the charisma, the promo skills. He has none of that. So don't try to make this happen.
They're trying anything they can. They're trying anything they can over there.
Then throw shit at the wall for an hour and I'll watch that instead, because this ain't it. Jeff Jarrett at almost 60 years old saying, I want one more run is asinine to me. It's asinine.
What's worse? The Moxley Plumbing Company running around with that belt in a box or a suitcase, or giving a belt to Jeff Jarrett, let him have it for a week, and then have somebody else come in and beat him for it. What's worse?
Both of those ideas are equally trash ass. Both are equally horrible. There is no winner in either one of those scenarios. And right now, which we're going to talk about that in a minute, I'm just done with everything they're doing with this Jeff Jarrett push right now. If you're not going to have him win, then what are you doing?
Right. Let him beat Claudio Cannoli and let him lose to Moxley. What's wrong with that?
But here's my thing. It doesn't have to go 15 minutes. Have a 5-minute oh shit moment and it's done. Out comes Yuta, hits him with the chair. Ref doesn't see it. He gets a cheap win. No one
Right.
hurts Claudio, and Jeff Jarrett gets a win he shouldn't have had.
Right.
But we got this 15-minute turd burger served to us on a dish that was ice cold with some damn snail droppings next to it.
Getting hungry now.
This match was slow and painful.
Good
Out
eating.
comes MJF when this whole thing is over with, and then immediately kicks the shit out of Jeff Jarrett. So he already lost. Let's go ahead and get the shovel out and bury this entire thing in the middle of the ring.
So this is just to set up a feud with Jeff Jarrett and MJF with no belt involved. No belt involved. They could have got the belt off of Moxley and put it on Jeff Jarrett and have Jeff Jarrett get killed by MJF for the belt. So the belt goes back to MJF. They could have done it that way.
I hate this show right now.
I hated it when I turned it on. I hated it last week. I hated it the week before, the week before that, the week before that, and the week before that. And you know what, Don? I hated it this year, and I hated it last year.
Okay, well, let's talk about this next segment. Because Renee Baguette is with your favorite wrestler and mine, Ping Pong. Yeah! And he said, hey, babe, take a walk on the wild side. I'm not doing an interview this week. We'll do it on Saturday on Collision. I'm going to the ring. After he said last week I'd be doing an interview on Dynamite next week. What the hell was this supposed to be?
He's ADHD. He can't keep his time straight, his days straight. Does anybody really care? Who really cares about this?
I am entertained by this nonsense that is currently Ping Pong, a.k.a. Ricochet. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that is my nickname for Ricochet. He is Ping Pong.
And I'm entertained by Jeff Jarrett.
No one is. You're lying to me and God, and he's watching you right now, judging you. Motorhead, thank you for the five spot, brother. AEW equals a sinking ship.
You got that straight, pal.
You are right. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit the notifications button, the ding-a-ling on the ring. The
wriggling
on the ding-a-ling. And the super chat's open if you want to yell at bottles. I mean, I want shit.
Let me have it. Let me have it. Fire it up. I'll take on all comers.
We get Ping Pong versus AR Fox, and I said no. Just no. Fast forward button, and while I'm fast forwarding it, I wrote down SSDM. You know what that stands for?
No. Shit show.
Same shit, different match.
Right. Exactly.
Nothing changes in any of this.
Who would think that AR Fox has a chance of beating Ricochet? He gets his ass kicked in every match.
Why am I seeing this 140-pound guy every week now?
If you want to build AR Fox up to be a star, have him win some matches on Dynamite. You let him do a promo. Have Shivani go out there and try to play Mean Gene Okerlund and interview the guy. Get something out of him. That's how you try to build a star. Get some kind of interest in somebody. You don't just bring him out as a job. You know he's going to job. You know he's going to lose. Why even bother? AR Fox has a rich history with Ricochet from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor from 1995. Blah, 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 blah. Sockface is just going to town. Recanting the histories of all these guys. Who gives a shit? He's not going to win. We know he's not going to win. You could go up and down these cards that are posted on Twitter.
Oh, no, there were no surprises in any of them.
No surprises at all, and that's why their ratings are falling. People tune in now just hoping it gets better, but it's not.
It does get better at the end of this match because we get a hostage situation. That's right. You heard it here first. AR Fox gets taken hostage with a pair of scissors at his neck. That if Swerve jumps on him, who interfered at the end of this match, he's gonna slit his throat. That's what we got. A live hostage situation on a wrestling show. And out goes Ping Pong. He just runs away. He runs away.
And never gets fired. He never gets fired. Nobody's going to fire Ping Pong. He pulled a pair of scissors out on a guy. What's next? A switchblade? What's next? A crowbar? A machete? Take a machete to the ring?
Crowbar actually is a good wrestler. I like him.
He could tag team the Crowbar.
I will not sit here and let you disparage the good goddamn name of Crowbar.
The good goddamn name of Crowbar.
This next segment of the show was my personal favorite segment of the show. It touched me deeply.
You were touched
like a priest.
It touched you like a parish priest when you were an altar boy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mox and his wife do the first interview I can ever remember. That's right. Renee Baguette is interviewing Moxley in what looks like their home, but I can't be sure.
Did she ask him, why are you such a psychopath? Tony's going to fire you.
No, she said, where's the title and why are you keeping it in that bag and now the briefcase? And Moxley then goes on to have the dumbest fucking promo I have ever heard him utter in the history of ever.
Since last week.
Dude, this is the worst thing he's ever said. This whole thing was hot garbage from the word go. He said, you're looking at the championship belt. I am the champion. It's in here. It's in him. I'm the champion. That doesn't mean nothing he said made sense and didn't explain anything. None of it made sense.
They've tried to kill how many people now in this little rampage of theirs? They've broken equipment. They hijacked the production truck. They tried to kill Daniel Bryan. They tried to kill Darby Allin. They tried to kill Orange Cassidy by putting a funnel in his mouth and pouring drain cleaner down it. They tried to kill the Rock and Roll Express. How come Tony Khan hasn't fired these guys? How come he hasn't fired them?
I can't explain anything.
If someone pulled a pointed blade out in a UFC contest, like Tank Abbott did in WCW, why? Remember that when he pulled the scissors out on a guy? Why wouldn't you just fire them?
Again, this is my point. I get that the champion is the person. The belt is what recognizes you as said champion.
Yes.
That's what you get to adorn so people know you are the champion. He says it's not something you win, it's something you earn. And I wrote down, what an asshole.
I could get behind that. Not that asshole, but I could get behind that sentiment.
Chris Jericho's New York Minute is next. And if you thought it wasn't going to get, well, Big Bill, look, he's Big Bill's working with what he's got. That's all I can say.
Yes.
I take nothing away from Big Bill. He's working it. These segments aren't as bad as they were. I'll give credit where it's due. They're not nearly as rotten and as dreck as they were. But again, it's still not great.
Tony Khan, all I can say is, if somehow this is being seen by him or someone who's close to him, hire Enzo Amore and repair him with Big Bill. And you'll get people talking about the show, and you might even pop a quarter hour, and you might even jump over 700,000 for that quarter hour where those two are together. But just keep it quiet. Don't let anybody know you hired him.
Oh, shit.
I'm saying, hey, why would you hire Enzo Amore if you got Big Bill?
Because he's a mess, dude.
He is a mess, but look at everybody in that company.
No, dude, there's certain messes you just stay away from. He's one of them. He's one of those guys that you go, thanks, but no thanks. I don't need you over here.
Jericho, he's not a mess. Jericho's a mess. Moxley's a mess. There's a plethora of people in this company that are just psychotic.
Not like this guy, man. He's not starting goddamn fights at a circus like that dumbass was.
Starting fights at a circus.
He was at a fair trying to start a street fight, dude. He's a moron.
He was at a Blink 182 concert. He tried to start a fight with Joey Janela.
I don't give a shit if he was at a Blink 182, a circus freak show. I don't give a shit. He doesn't know how to act around people. He's an idiot.
He's changed his tune, pal. It's been years.
It's because somebody kicked him in the nuts.
I don't know about that, pal.
He's a soprano now.
They like him in MLW. That's all I can say.
Well, here's what you got next. The next match, you get Jay White versus Super Suds. And I said, I don't want to watch anything with this.
Jay White's fallen that far. He's fallen that far.
He really has.
Yes, it's a shame.
And he's going against Super Suds, which is my new nickname for Wheeler Useless.
Super Suds.
If you don't know, there was a guy at my car wash. I shit you not. I posted on Twitter. I said, Wheeler Yuta down here watching cars. Tell me that guy's not the spitting image of Wheeler Yuta.
Yes, super wax.
I mean, even had the beard growing out of control and the hair. Had it down pat. I was like, holy shit.
Yes.
This thing went way too long. And I didn't realize how small and how slight Jay White was until he got in the ring with Wheeler. He's not a big guy at all. He's jacked. He's skinny as hell. And he's cut because he's got
lean.
no weight.
He's lean, but he's got definition.
Cute.
Yeah.
He's got definition, but he's not a big guy, Bottles, at all.
Well, if you were in that company, what would it pay to go in the needle and pump yourself up for what? So you could be like Brian Cage and still do the job to everybody, but look good doing it? Come on.
I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see the local small boy competition, our favorite Adam Cole, he's on the juice. You can tell he's on something, pal. He's hitting the weights again. He's pumping up a lot. He's growing fast.
But you've got him standing next to Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly.
No. I'll send you the picture.
He's looking thicker.
You can tell he's added some weight here in the past couple of months.
He's got to do something. It's ridiculous.
Well, I agree. But after watching this shit, I just wrote down Jay White is the same damn size as Wheeler. He's just more defined.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I watched this shit. Bang, bang, guy wins. Out comes the Cracker Clan. They jump him. Out comes Cope with FTR. Same shit, different
Why are they jumping Jay White? Where's the beef with Jay White? Who's Moxley facing for the championship at the pay-per-view that's coming up?
Who is he facing?
I don't know. Has that ever been
That's
established?
not till March.
Grand Slam is in February.
No, I thought that was in March.
That's in February.
Well, Grand Slam is the show that's on TV, isn't it?
Yeah, they had hopes for it to be a pay-per-view, but it's going to be on TV.
Yeah, it's not a pay-per-view.
But who's he defending the title?
He's not.
They haven't even announced it.
I don't think he is.
It's crazy. What a company. What a company.
We finally get the Tony Storm recap. That's what I wrote down. Why is she not on this show interviewing? I don't understand this. They get to Mariah May with Renee, and I said this was a good interview. Mariah May had a good interview on this segment.
For a change, yes.
I thought it was good. And then we get Mercedes Moné, and I said, fuck my life, I'm not watching this anymore.
You didn't mention Snooki Parazzo.
I didn't have to. She wasn't on the show.
She didn't do an interview on this show?
I didn't see her. I don't
with
think
Taya
so.
Valkyrie talking about they're finally going to get what they want, and they're coming after Harley Cameron.
I don't remember this at all, honestly.
No, okay.
I might have been on fast forward and just said, "Hell, this Mercedes Moné wins," and I don't give a shit anymore. I'm not talking about it anymore.
Mercedes Moné wrestled Takeshita's wife, Yuka Sakazaki, or whatever her name is. Yeah. And they try to make it seem like it was going to be a hard-fought contest. A woman who's done nothing to deserve a title shot, Yuka Sakazaki. She wore genie pants. I dream of genie pants. Little gold sash. She took on Mercedes Moné, who came out the crickets.
We do got to talk about the Moné factor, though, because there is... When she quit the WWE, she cited creative differences in that she didn't think they were putting the women's tag team in enough of a spotlight.
Yes, because...
Rumors flew that she quit because she was being told you're going to lose these belts at the next pay-per-view. And she quit over that, is what has now surfaced again.
That is not true.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened. Was Naomi was in a match by herself because she was tag team champions with Naomi. Naomi was in a match by herself wrestling somebody. And the main event, semi-main event of that show was Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey. And she was going to do the job to Ronda Rousey again. And she didn't like Ronda Rousey, and she did not want to do that.
Bottom line is, she refuses to lose. She has the Shawn Michaels syndrome.
Big time.
She's not dropping a belt, and she's not putting a guy over. It's not going to happen.
Well, she's got 4 belts now. She's going to start running out of arms. So she's going to have to drop some of these BS titles. I have no idea why Mercedes Moné has not challenged Mariah May for that main belt. Why not go after the main title, the main AEW title? Why not?
Because you can hold those mid-cards a whole lot longer and not lose, Bonnie. Nobody's going to look sideways at you holding on to the nobody gives a shit TBS title or the 4-way women's hardcore weirdo championship from Japan or the Lucha Libre underground apartment wrestling championship on her other arm.
Yes.
This is what they do. I don't understand what they're doing in AEW. I can't wrap my arms around this anymore. I can't wrap my arms around the idea or the control or the direction of this company. I don't understand why I should care about your champion when I don't even see your championship title anymore. He doesn't show it off, and then he tells you, you're looking at the championship. You're looking at it, pal. Cody Rhodes is everywhere with the title. Kevin Owens has a fake championship that's pissed off Cody Rhodes about. That's what it's about. Why aren't we doing more of this in this company?
John Moxley told people in an interview, stop asking questions and enjoy the damn ride. We're not enjoying the ride, John. We're not enjoying the ride.
Oh, the ride has stopped.
The ride has stopped.
Because it stopped. It's like when you get on a damn carnival ride, the roller coaster, and it's going up and it's click, 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 and it just stops. And now you got to walk down the bastard and pray to God you don't fall down this rickety-ass 1950s coaster that Luke over there didn't put together worth of shit because he still have trunk for the ride down here.
Pac, the man who never wears pants, and
Pantsless
the Cracker
Pac.
Clan, yes, Pantsless Pac, did an interview with the Close Up podcast, and he said, I've been here since the year dot, and I've always hated this place. AEW never became what it was supposed to be. I hate the management. I hate the locker room. Now, I don't know if that's a shoot. I don't know if it's a work.
It's a work. That's a work. It's a total work.
Well, it's a man with no pants saying this, so it looked pretty serious.
I'm done. AEW was a hellhole. I can't wait to watch the Royal Rumble. I might watch SmackDown if I see something hot. Other than that, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. I don't know about you.
What would you do, going back to AEW just for one more second, what would you do about the Mercedes Moné situation? She's not getting any reaction from the crowd at all now. It's trickled down to nothing. She wanted to be a babyface, and they booed the hell out of her because she's an obnoxious personality who's conceited. That's a narcissistic. That's her real self, amped up to 10.
That's not a personality, Bottles. That's who she is.
I just said it's her real self, amped up to 10.
It ain't turned up. No, it's not amped up. That really is who she is. It's not amped up. That's who she is.
Right. And now they try to make her a heel, and there's no reaction to her now at all. It's just
none. The crowd did nothing when she came out last night.
Set her on her hands.
Did absolutely nothing. The worst thing that can happen if you're a wrestler is when you come out, there's no reaction. There's not boos and there's not cheers. They just watch.
I'll tell you one thing. I want to show you this. Here's a guy who had absolutely no reaction whatsoever.
Don't do this.
See this guy?
My man said, F this show, I'm out.
He was asleep for a good while in the front row of this show.
He
was sound asleep.
Really?
This is from last night. Yes, he was sound asleep in the front row.
If anybody knows who this guy is, let me know. Because he actually attended this shit live.
Yes.
I'd have never done that. Me personally. Anyway, we're going to watch the Rumble. We might do a show Saturday night. Stay tuned. We hope you can join us. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. I look forward to watching the Rumble. I know somebody else that liked the Royal Rumble.
Do you really think he would like the Royal Rumble?
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.